Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And we're tracking showers and storms this morning. Some flash flood warnings out there. We're going to get you a complete update coming up.
Also making news overnight, a motorcyclist is dead following a crash on the northwest side. We'll have details on what happened.
The race for a vaccine hits a temporary snag. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington with the latest just ahead.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we were excited to see the rain, but there was a flash flood warning. We're going to check in with Justin in just a bit.
Yeah, it's treacherous out there driving wise. We'll also be checking in with Officer Nick Solis. Good morning to you. It is Wednesday. It is September 9th, and Nick and Justin are pretty much driving our newscast today.
Yes, they are. Justin, I know the rain was really coming down early this morning.
Yeah, we got some good rainfall rates. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, so these showers and storms are going to be very efficient. You're going to see some flash flooding with some of this, I think, this morning, especially where you get these heavier clusters here now starting to work up into Gillespie County near Fredericksburg. But we saw that move through San Antonio, and that prompted a flash flood warning that is still in effect. That's going to go until 6 o'clock. It includes basically northwest San Antonio, then up into Kendall County and parts of Comal County as well, western parts of Comal County. So it's in this corridor here where the heavy rain fell earlier. We were estimating anywhere from 1 to 2 inches, maybe up to 3 in a few isolated spots. But that's what the radar is estimating this morning. So it's right in that swath there, actually right along I-10 where that really heavy rain fell just earlier. And again, we still have some of those showers and storms on the radar here that'll continue to move off to the north. It's going to be a pretty busy day, I think, rainfall wise, and the radar is going to stay pretty active. There is now also a flash flood watch that is in effect through 1 p.m. tomorrow. It includes Bexar County and most of the hill country. This is the area where we think the heaviest rain will fall as a frontal boundary starts to move into our area. So about a 70% chance of rain later this afternoon. Temperatures will top out in the mid 80s, but it'll feel vastly different as we get into tomorrow with some cooler air moving in, possibly with a front. We're going to talk more about that and give you another radar update coming up in just a bit. But let's get over to Nick now. I would imagine things are getting busy for you, sir.
Yeah, very busy, Justin. So when I first came in, there was 3 accidents. Those have been cleared, but since then, in the last 10 minutes, we have 2 more accidents to report. So this is going to be one that just came out, southbound U.S. Highway 281 north at Hildebrand Avenue. Looks like this is a 1-vehicle accident that's blocking 2 lanes there. I'll get you more information on that when I can. This accident, eastbound U.S. Highway 90 west at Military Drive. Looks like that's going towards 410 there. And then we have a high water on eastbound U.S. Highway 90 west going eastbound at Leon Creek. So if we're going eastbound from 35 to 410 on 90 at Leon Creek, please be careful when driving. All over the city, there's little puddles of water on the highway. Keep your vehicle at least under 60. Please watch out, wear your seatbelt. It's getting a little dangerous out there. Mark, Stephanie?
All right, Nick, we'll be talking to you throughout the morning. Thank you, sir. New this morning, San Antonio police say a motorcyclist in his 30s is dead after he crashed into a minivan on the northeast side. It happened in the 1500 block of Nacogdoches near Judson Road just before 9 last night. Here's Sky 12 video. Officials say the motorcyclist was traveling east on Nacogdoches. A driver in a minivan turning left into a subdivision. Motorcycle collided with the minivan, throwing the motorcyclist off the bike and into the air. SAPD says the motorcyclist died at the scene. He was not wearing a helmet. Officials say individuals inside the minivan were not hurt.
In the latest for the COVID-19 numbers in our area, Bexar County is now in the dark green stage labeled safe. The positivity rate has dropped to 6.7%, and there is a 2-week decline in cases. To keep on a positive trend, health officials say mask wearing and social distancing are still important. The newest report, we had 193 new COVID-19 cases reported along with 1 new death. 304 people are in the hospital with 134 in the intensive care unit and 81 people on ventilators. More than 40,000 have recovered in Bexar County.
Meanwhile, this morning, a possible setback in the race for a COVID-19 vaccine.
This as we learn more than 500,000 children have now tested positive in the U.S. for the virus. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with more.
Late-stage human trials for a promising COVID-19 vaccine at the University of Oxford now temporarily on hold. AstraZeneca, the drug company behind it, saying it's a routine action for safety reasons after one of their volunteers suffered a potentially unexplained illness. The drug maker still hoping to minimize any potential impact on the trial timeline, while CEOs of 9 major drug companies in the race for a vaccine promised to not rush production, but to rather let science win. At least 30 states are now seeing a surge in COVID-19 cases as deaths in the U.S. hover around 190,000.
We've seen this dramatic spike.
The mayor of Athens, Georgia, among many fearing a return to campus is contributing to the rise in cases.
We're in much worse shape entering the fall than we were entering the summer. We're going to probably see a lot more cases ahead.
Colleges like the University of Rhode Island cracking down on large gatherings like this. At NYU, students will now be required to do a weekly self-test.
I guess it makes us feel a little safer that they're being pretty strict.
Meanwhile, on the campaign trail, the president still dangling a vaccine ahead of Election Day.
Now they know we have it. It's only a question of weeks.
And accusing Democrats of playing politics by adhering to strict COVID-19 guidelines.
On November 4th, every one of those states will be open. They're doing it for political reasons.
The Biden campaign releasing this new ad attacking Trump's handling of the pandemic and laying out 3 steps they say will ensure a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine.
We need to get control over the virus. Donald Trump failed. Joe Biden will get it done.
And on Capitol Hill, Senate Republicans are getting ready to unveil a slimmed-down COVID-19 relief bill worth roughly $300 billion. But the Democrats say it's headed nowhere because it's laden with poison pills. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
And here at home, local medical professionals hoping for a mild flu season this year. This as University Hospital expects to begin testing and treating flu cases in about 1 to 2 weeks. They're urging the community to stay healthy by getting the flu shot as soon as possible. The hospital says since the flu and COVID-19 cases are similar, they will be testing for both when patients come in. The flu results will come back in 1 to 3 hours. University Hospital officials say this season workers will be isolating respiratory illness patients as a precaution.
For those who are more ill and need things like oxygen and a cardiac monitor and maybe even more care, that part of our ED is also separated by one side of the ED is dedicated to patients with respiratory isolation issues.
Bexar County officials reporting that last flu season was relatively mild. Texas reported 6 pediatric flu-related deaths. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports there were anywhere between 24,000 to 62,000 flu-related deaths.
437, 77 degrees.
And still ahead, a first look at what shark experts are saying about safety in the coming months after a great white was spotted less than 10 feet from the shoreline at a popular tourist destination.
And next, details on possible troop reductions in Iraq and Afghanistan by President Donald Trump.
And taking a look outside with live cam, it is the rain we wanted is in our area, but it's coming down pretty hard. We're going to check in with Justin and see how we can be safe for the rest of this day.
440 in your morning headlines. President Trump expected to announce a further troop reduction in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's from a senior administration official. Decision about Afghanistan will be made official in the coming days. Both moves have been in the making for a while. At the same time, the president is facing blowback after accusing top Pentagon leaders of being beholden to defense contractors.
And Wall Street isn't looking so hot coming out of the Labor Day holiday weekend. Bearish investors dominated stocks yesterday, pushing markets further into the red from last week's rut. Worries about a COVID-19 resurgence this winter, uncertainty around the presidential election, and renewed tensions with China helped fuel the sell-off. It sent the Dow down more than 600 points. The S&P 500 was down as well, but the Nasdaq fared the worst after losing 465 points, which is a 4% drop.
Often California can be known for large brush fires and wild police chases, and in this story, it combines both. LAPD say a hit-and-run suspect led officers on a high-speed chase yesterday and was possibly the cause of a brush fire. You can see the driver speeding in a truck with a trailer attached. The man accused of hitting several parked cars, then driving off as police tried to stop him. LAPD officers chased him. The suspect stopped briefly in an area where the fire began, then took off again. Officers eventually caught him. Crews were quickly able to gain control of those flames.
Time now, it's 4:42 and 77 degrees.
Still ahead, if you're looking to get out and exercise but have small children, we'll show you some of the best jogging strollers you can buy to get your best workouts.
And coming up next, with beach season extending in many parts of the country this year, what experts are saying about possible shark encounters.
And the downpours are finally here. The forecast update is coming up as we take a live look at radar. Meteorologist Justin Horn is standing by with your Wednesday forecast and the update on the approach of that cold front.
And welcome back. It's 4:45. The summer of the shark isn't over. Swimmers in Cape Cod were shocked when a great white swam close to shore. ABC's Will Reeve has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, shark sighting.
Coming back!
Summer may be over, but the sharks are still out. Over Labor Day weekend, this great white spotted less than 10 feet from the shoreline in Cape Cod. Its massive dorsal fin gliding above the waterline. Tamsin McKenzie captured these images of the shark.
It was just really amazing to watch.
McKenzie says she's been coming to this beach for more than 25 years and noticed the seals avoiding the water. Then she saw why.
About 2 hours later, we saw the fin. It was only about 10 feet away from us.
She estimates it was 12 to 14 feet long and 3 to 4 feet wide. And with beach season extending in many parts of the country this year, we'll talk to a shark expert on what the coming months have in store. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, Seabright, New Jersey.
Staying active in the midst of a pandemic has led more people outdoors. A brisk walk, jog, or run is great exercise for the whole family.
I agree, but if you have a baby or toddler, it helps to have the right equipment. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz looks at jogging strollers.
Experienced racer Jackie Noblet is glad to be back at it, but now she has 3 little companions.
I think we're getting to the point where I could schedule one loop with one kid and then do kind of a relay race where you take one out and then you put another one in.
A good stroller that's built for jogging makes a big difference.
The reason for using a jogging stroller in fixed wheel mode when you're jogging, you hit a bump or something like that, you want the wheel to be fixed in place so the stroller doesn't veer off or even tip over.
The fixed wheel is great for running, but challenging for everyday use since the stroller is harder to maneuver, especially turning corners. A traditional stroller that can be used for jogging is more versatile. You can put the front wheel in the swivel position for everyday use or lock it straight for jogging.
If you're going to buy a stroller and spend that sort of money, having multiple functionalities is kind of nice.
For a traditional stroller that can be used for jogging, CR's top pick is the Kiko Active 3 Air for $300. Have 2 kids to push? CR recommends the Thule Urban Glide 2. It's more than $700. When buying a stroller for jogging, CR says look for a 5-point harness. A handbrake offers better control as you jog. And consider the weight of the stroller. Pushing it plus a child or 3 may be more of a workout than you bargained for. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Very good advice. I was going to say, I still have my jogging stroller from when Rooney was a baby. Yeah, and still it's strong enough to where I could still take her every once in a while when she's too tired to run.
And she's about to jump out and join you like Forrest Gump.
She does.
4:48, traffic and weather going to be very busy departments this morning. Let's begin with Nick.
Right now, Mark, it's very dangerous out there if you're traveling the roadways. I've already had 2 accidents that just came out in the last 5 minutes for vehicles hydroplaning on the highway. That means there's puddles of water there. Watch your speed. These one vehicle accidents are spitting out. So this accident just came out westbound North Loop 1604 at US 281. This vehicle hydroplaned out there on the right lane and is blocking the lanes. SAPD is on scene. Another accident that came out right now, I wasn't able to get the graphic up, is going to be eastbound 410 just before Ingham Road. Another vehicle hydroplaned there as well. So very important that you watch your speed this morning. Please be very careful on the roadways. Still working on this accident. This is southbound US 281 North at Hildebrand Avenue. That's a one vehicle accident as well. And then this accident, eastbound US Highway 90 West at Military Drive. Now a high water warning came out in this exact area earlier, and it's still affecting traffic. This accident here was because of that high water there at hydroplaned as well. And here it is, warning high water eastbound US Highway 90 West at Leon Creek on the eastbound lanes. Please be careful. All right, taking a look at the trans guide here. There's an accident at US 281 at Hildebrand. SAPD is on scene. Good news there. And just taking a look around the city right now, roadways are very slick. Please wear your seatbelt. There's 10 at Frio inbounds and outbounds. And like I said, just please watch your speed and get to work safely. Mark, Stephanie? Yeah. Oh.
Thanks, Nick. No worries. Looking at the live radar right now, we had some of that heavy rain over San Antonio a little bit earlier. Starting to move away from the area for now, but I still think we're going to get some more showers and storms throughout the course of today. It's going to be a pretty damp day, and there is a possibility of some flooding. We've already seen that. We have this flash flood warning here that includes Bexar County, parts of Kendall County, and western parts of Comal County. That's going to go until 6 a.m. I would say the threat is probably coming down just a little bit because the heavy rain has moved out. But as Nick mentioned, there's still some places on the roadways where you got to be extra careful. Now we have a new flash flood warning that is being issued for Gillespie County, up towards Blanco County and parts of Kendall County. That's going to go until 8 o'clock for this cluster of storms here. And what we're seeing is that these storms are just very efficient rain producers. They're putting down a ton of rain, and there's a ton of moisture in the atmosphere for this to happen. There's a little closer look at that flash flood warning. Again, that goes until 6 o'clock, includes northwestern parts of Bexar County. And that's where we've estimated about 1 to 2 inches in some cases. This is radar estimated. There could be some pockets of heavier rain. But this is the main cluster right now. We're starting to see some new development down there around Floresville, also around Seguin. And we'll see the radar get pretty active again throughout the afternoon, probably more active than what we're seeing this morning. There is a flash flood watch in effect that does include San Antonio and parts of the hill country, actually all of the hill country here. And this is going to go through 1 p.m. tomorrow. And that's because we have this slow-moving front coming in. So there's a potential that we continue to see that some of these thunderstorms that produce heavy rain, but also some training where they just move over the same areas. So this is noontime today, shows quite a bit of activity. And then by 5 o'clock, we've got showers and storms as this front moves a little bit closer. And then that may put more showers and storms in play around 10 o'clock tonight if this front is indeed moving towards San Antonio. Still some questions as to where it will stall out, but I think it moves through town, and we'll be on the backside of it by tomorrow morning. Still dealing with rain, but also some cooler air. High temperatures today or tomorrow may not get out of the 70s. That's a potential with this front. And you can see the cooler air there out west. 48 in Midland. It's 59 right now in San Angelo. That front is through there. And as we go forward in time, that front slowly works its way east. Behind it, 60s, out ahead of it, 80s. But look what happens tomorrow. As this front makes a little more progress out to the east, we'll see that the cooler air will work its way towards San Antonio. And we'll have a pretty good dividing line here between 70s and 80s off to the east, but 50s and even 60s in the hill country. So what a change. A pretty impressive front. 77 degrees right now. Dew point is at 75. Temperatures in the 70s, 72 Rock Springs, 79 New Braunfels, 74 in Kerrville with a little bit of rain there. And you can see some of those cooler temperatures there off in the distance. Forecast calls for highs in the mid 80s. We'll go from a 40 to 50, 60% chance of rain up to a 70% chance of rain by this afternoon and this evening. And then 77 tomorrow, 40% chance of rain on your Thursday, better chances in the morning and then tapering off during the afternoon. Friday and Saturday, we should see the rain chances just drop to about 20%, but they pick back up Sunday and Monday with another weak frontal boundary. So this is a very active pattern, guys.
And we feel very lucky. Thank you, Justin.
453, 77 degrees.
And coming up next, Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger talks about the opening their first official merchandise store in London.
A new judge on Dancing with the Stars, and the Rolling Stones open their first store up.
And for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Ramita Puga.
Derek Huff joining Dancing with the Stars as a judge. Huff, who was a professional dancer on the show from 2007 to 2016, will replace Len Goodman, who is exiting his role due to circumstances surrounding the coronavirus pandemic. Huff will serve alongside longtime judges Carrie Ann and Bruno. This week, Kelly and Ryan reunited on set, but it was hardly business as usual.
It looks like we're next to each other. However, if you take a wide shot, as you saw, that's how we're really sitting.
Besides the spaced out desks, there's no studio audience.
The audience, of course, is our third co-host, so it's not the same without them, obviously.
Live with Kelly and Ryan heads into the new season as the #1 talk show in daytime. And today, the Rolling Stones opening their first official merchandise store at 9 Carnaby Street in London. Frontman Mick Jagger shared his connection to the famed Soho location.
We used to walk around there before it was Carnaby Street was famous. We used to work around there. We rehearsed near there. Used to eat near there. But I mean, it's also now it's a really good place to have a shop on that corner. It's not bad. It's not a bad place to have a shop.
And happy birthday, Ryan Philippi, who turns 45, Guy Ritchie, who's 51, and Colin Firth, turning 59. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Romina Puga for ABC News.
Right now it's 4:57, 77 degrees.
And we're going to get an update on the weather with Justin just ahead.
Plus, one way you can save a little money right now by extending the life of your electronics like your smartphone or laptop. We have some easy ways you can do just that.
But if you're looking for the latest tech from Apple, you are in luck. We're going to tell you when you can get a hold of the new Apple Watch and iPad.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Showers and storms on the radar this morning. We've got the latest. We're tracking it all for you. Coming up.
Also making headlines, double shooting turns deadly on the east side of San Antonio overnight. We have details just ahead.
Plus, massive wildfires continue to threaten large parts of California. We'll have the latest.
And we also are going to get an update on the approach of that cold front. Will it actually make its way through? Is it going to kind of stall out or wash out right over the KSAT 12 viewing area? We'll talk to Justin in a second. Good morning, everybody. It is 5:01, 77 degrees.
Thanks for joining us. Happy Wednesday, by the way. And I'm hoping you're enjoying the rain, but I'm excited also about the temperatures dropping just a bit.
Let's get the very latest on that front, because I know there was some hesitation there, Justin, about how potent this was actually going to be by the time it got closer to us here in south central Texas.
Exactly. And there's still some questions there. I mean, this is a sort of a rare front in the sense that it's pretty cold behind it, and it is trying to slowly work its way towards San Antonio. I do think it moves through by tomorrow morning. We'll get some cooler air. It just won't be the really cold stuff they're seeing up to the north. The rain is going to be the big story for now, and we've already seen quite a bit of rain. Some flash flood warnings in effect for parts of the area, including northern Bexar County and parts of Kendall County. So we'll zoom in a little bit closer here, and we'll take a look at some of the heavy rain. You see that around Bernie. We've also got some pretty heavy rain moving up into northern parts of Kendall County and then up towards Fredericksburg, where there are flash flood warnings in effect. This flash flood warning, which includes Bexar County, that goes until 6 a.m. But this one up to the north, that is going until 8 a.m. And again, that does include Fredericksburg, where the pretty heavy rain is falling now across parts of eastern Gillespie County. And we can put on some of the radar estimates here and take a look at how much rain we're estimating, and we're probably talking on the order of 1 to 2 inches, but with some higher amounts now, it looks like. And we'll go ahead and take a look at some of these numbers. Probably 1 to 2 inches, where you see some of the yellow color. We're probably talking about 3 inches, 2.8. 1.7 there in parts of Blanco County. So this is going to cause a little bit of flooding, especially if we get some training. We have a flash flood watch in effect that includes the Hill Country, San Antonio. This is going to go through 1 p.m. Thursday. And this is where we're anticipating more heavy rain as we get into the afternoon and evening. Right now, we have about a 40% chance of rain, but we up that to a 70% chance as we get into late this afternoon and this evening. We're going to talk much more about this forecast and much more about that cold front coming up in just a bit. But it is a busy morning for Nick as well on the roadways. Let's check in with him.
Yeah, definitely, Justin. Right now, everyone, please be careful when driving to work. A lot of puddles on those roadways causing vehicles to hydroplane there. Watch your speed when driving. Please be safe. All right, this accident here, westbound Northwest Loop 410 at Ingram Road, still working there on that one. We have this accident westbound North Loop 1604 at US 281 North. We're also working on this here eastbound US Highway 90 West at Military Drive, and this is where there's a high water. It actually just spoke to TransGuide right now. It's still in effect. There's a high water crossing right here. If you're going eastbound Highway 90 West at Leon Creek, or just right there at Military, there's high water on the roadways. It's causing a lot of vehicles to hydroplane. We've already had 2 accidents this morning because of this high water, so please be careful there. All right, 10 at Frio, inbounds and outbounds looks good right now. Traffic is flowing smoothly for the most part all around the city, so that's good. 10 at UTSA Boulevard, great, but you can see roadways are slick and it is very dangerous out there. 1604 Culebra, Alamo Ranch, that looks good as well. All right, Mark, Stephanie, back to you.
San Antonio police say a person is dead, another seriously hurt following a double shooting on the east side early this morning. Happened just after midnight in the 500 block of Ferris Avenue, not far from the Wheatley Heights Sports Complex. SAPD says a bunch of people were out in front of a house when the shooting happened. One person was pronounced dead at the scene. Another was taken to the hospital in critical condition. So far, there is no description of those responsible. SAPD says detectives are investigating and did find shell casings and a gun near the scene.
Also new this morning, San Antonio police are investigating after a cutting sent a man to the hospital last night. It happened around 9 p.m. at a duplex near the intersection of North Zarzamora and Ruiz Street. That's just west of the downtown area. San Antonio police say two people, a 17-year-old and a man in his 20s, were involved in an argument when one cut the other in the arm. Officers say the suspect ran away and they are still looking for him. The victim was taken to University Hospital.
In your morning headlines, historic wildfires spreading on the West Coast overnight. One fire is burning an area the size of New York's Central Park every half hour.
And the fire and smoke are turning the sky yellow as far away as Yellowstone National Park. ABC's Megan Tevrizian has the latest.
This morning, the firefight on the West Coast growing more difficult by the hour. In Oregon, a state of emergency declared as 36 wildfires burn across the state.
The west side of Diamond off Kings has been evacuated. It's moving pretty quickly.
Evacuations in the area made more difficult after the fire closed Interstate 5 at the California border. Firefighters now dealing with the strongest winds of the season in California, from so-called Diablo winds in the north to Santa Ana winds in the south.
We've got fires burning from in the north part of the state all the way to the Mexican border, about 800 miles between the furthest distant fires.
Strong winds combining with record heat and dry conditions, fueling at least 25 large wildfires in California alone, burning more than 2 million acres. A firefighter is in critical condition this morning after he and his crew were overrun by flames near Big Sur. Officials saying the firefighters were defending a fire station when they were forced inside their emergency shelters, a dual-layer blanket meant to deflect heat, as seen in this video. One of the largest fires burning in the state near Fresno, now scorching more than 160,000 acres. ABC's Kaylee Hartung is there.
These trees are acting as dry fuel, and as you feel this wind pick up, you understand why authorities say the creek fire is uncontrollable until the weather improves.
A massive rescue effort still underway late Tuesday for more than a dozen people trapped by flames. One woman desperately waiting for her husband and 2 sons.
So I'm just anxious for them to come home and for me to see them step off. Then I can breathe.
Megan Tevrizian, ABC News, San Diego.
Back in local news, the Bexar County District Attorney has now met with the family of Marquise Jones. In 2014, Jones was shot in the back by an off-duty officer, Robert Encina. Encina later cleared of any wrongdoing. The officer said while he was arresting the driver of a car Jones was riding in, Jones got out and pointed a revolver at him. That's when Encina fired. Jones's aunt, Deborah Bush, says she is hopeful the DA is going to review new information provided by the family attorney. She said in the meantime, she wants the narrative in the media to change.
Y'all need to stop, because at the end of the day, whether he was wrong or whether they were right, that's still somebody's loved one.
Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez says he's assigned 2 veteran prosecutors to review information and the entire case.
San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers need your help in finding a man who held up a 7-Eleven store clerk on the northwest side. It happened back on August 27th in the 1300 block of Hildebrand, just off of I-10. Police say that man entered the store, pointed a gun at the clerk, and demanded money. He got away with that money, and the clerk was not hurt. If you know who this person might be, call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. You could get a reward of up to $5,000.
Right now it's 5:08, 77 degrees.
Still ahead, Apple officially launching a new Apple Watch and iPad. We're going to tell you when you can get your hands on this new technology.
But if you're looking to lengthen the lifespan of your current technology, up next we'll share 3 tips that cost little to no money.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we are happy about this rain we're getting, but Justin and Nick are very busy this morning. Justin tracking the storms and Nick watching the water on the roadways. We'll be back after the break.
12 past the hour, the average American will spend over $75,000 on smartphones in their lifetime, but sometimes money is tight. And buying a new phone is the last thing you want to spend money on.
I know, we keep putting it off and putting it off. But doing 3 simple steps could double your device's lifespan. Max Massey has the answers.
Have you noticed your battery life on your smart device dwindle down?
I think it lasted a couple of days at the beginning, and now it's like maybe a day.
Probably right around the time where it's due for a contract change.
While companies promise they've made changes, batteries still deteriorate over time. And after 500, an iPhone's battery will only have 80% of its original capacity. So how can we fully restore it?
Replacement batteries are usually pretty inexpensive.
They will add 2 more years of full capacity. Turn your devices off once every few days. Keep components dust-free to avoid overheating. Not only should you clean off keyboards and phone ports, but open your computer and wipe the dust off the fans.
I can't turn it on.
Keeping your device within 32 to 95 degrees will help it avoid premature battery drain. It's also vital to organize and update your storage.
Over time, they can inundate themselves with log files and just erroneous junk.
Delete apps you haven't used in the last 6 months. Keep security current and keep your device running smoothly. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Tech Bites with Mac Massey. iPhone users can check their phone's battery health in the battery settings. If the capacity is under 60%, you may want to think about purchasing a new battery.
And you can also check your phone's storage under General to see what files are taking up the most space. I had to do that in the past because it just wasn't working anymore.
Well, sometimes, yeah, and if you're not relentless about doing backup, sometimes Other can take up a ton of files, and you have to basically do a factory reset. You have to back everything up to the cloud if you can. 514, 77 degrees.
A lot to think about. And next, if you use Uber, chances are you'll be riding in more electric cars very soon. We're going to tell you why.
And if you're just now waking up, you are waking up to showers and thunderstorms in parts of our area, particularly north of San Antonio right now. They are under the gun. We'll get the latest from Justin.
These are real people, not actors, who've got their eczema under control. With less eczema, you can show more skin. So roll up those sleeves and help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is the first treatment of its kind that continuously treats moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, even between flare-ups. Dupixent is a biologic and not a cream or steroid. Many people taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin and had significantly less itch. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. So help heal your skin from within and talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent. If your financial situation has changed, we may be able to help.
In today's Tech Bites, news of Apple's next launch. The tech giant is expected to unveil its new Apple Watch and iPad at an online-only event next Tuesday. The company sent out an invitation with the caption, "Time flies." A hint the event will focus on the new watch. Apple says its new 5G iPhones will be delayed due to the pandemic. Uber is going green, vowing that its entire fleet will be made up of electric cars exclusively by 2030. The company plans to commit $800 million to help its drivers make the transition, and General Motors will offer Uber drivers employee pricing. Finally, a big honor for the founder of Zoom. Eric Yuan has entered Forbes 400 Richest Americans list at number 43. His fortune is said to be worth nearly $16 billion. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
518.
Let's go ahead and check traffic with Officer Nick Solis. I know you said there was some high water on some of those roadways.
Yeah, it's getting dangerous out there, Steph, right now. They're accumulating in different parts of the city. Please be careful when driving. We've had cars spin out all this morning, just losing control. They're hydroplaning because of some of these high water areas. All right, this accident just came out. This is westbound IH-10 off ramp to southbound Northeast Loop 410 there on the east side. This accident is a 2-vehicle accident. These 2 cars spun out as well. So once again, very dangerous out there. there right now. Accident westbound North Loop 1604 at US Highway 281. Dealing with that one. We have this accident eastbound US Highway 90 West at Military Drive. This is also where we have reported high water. There's been 2 accidents at this area, eastbound Highway 90 at Leon Creek, and this high water has caused some accidents. Now, right now, we have our own photographer, Azian Bermia, who's live on scene right now. He's driving. This is I-10 coming from Bernie to 1604, and as you can see right there, roadways are very, very slick at this moment. I mean, when I was coming into work today, anything over 55 miles an hour, I was almost losing control. So please be careful when driving. Go the speed limit, wear your seatbelt, and get to work safely. Justin?
Thank you, Nick. And I guess if there's any good news here, we're starting to see some of that heavier rain shift out of San Antonio. So we may get a break for a while, but we are expecting more heavy rain throughout the course of today. Take a look at this picture. This sent in from Yvonne there over Westover Hills by SeaWorld. And you can see about half an inch of rain, but that came very quickly. And that's why we're dealing with some of the flooding this morning. It was just a very quick downpour, and some places got up to 1 to 2 inches, maybe even close to 3. With those downpours a little bit earlier. Flash flood warning is still in effect, by the way, for northern Bexar County. That's going to go for just a little while longer. You see where some of the heavy rain is now, centered over Fredericksburg, western parts of Blanco County. That's where the rain is pretty heavy. And where you see some of these white lines here, that is lightning, showing us where the lightning is. And we'll zoom in a little bit closer. And it does look like we're starting to get some more development here over San Antonio. Right there, close to the airport. So we may actually see some rain accumulate at the airport, another little cell just to the west of Schertz, and then right over downtown San Antonio now, starting to see a little bit of rain. So there is still some more moving through. This is all tracking off to the north pretty quickly, but thankfully it's not one of those big swaths of rain where I think that we'll be dealing with more flooding, at least for now. Now, as we get into the afternoon, again, flooding may become an issue. We'll go ahead and turn on the warnings here and show you where those flash flood warnings are. Again, northern Bexar County, that's where we have that flash flood warning goes till 6 o'clock. And then as we go north up here towards Fredericksburg, it's this flash flood warning that goes until 8 o'clock. Basically western parts of Blanco County and eastern parts of Gillespie County. And there's just a strip of heavy rain there right along the county line. That is also shifting north. We also have a flash flood warning out in Valverde County, northern parts of Valverde County, where some heavy rain is falling there. So you get the idea. It's going to be a busy day. Flash flood watch is in effect for San Antonio and parts of the Hill Country, basically west of I-35 here and along I-10. This is going to go through 1 p.m. tomorrow. And that is the window in which we should see these showers and storms really blossom. One reason for that, frontal boundary, that is slowly moving in. This is the front that we've been talking about for some time now. Fairly good looking front. And by 5 o'clock today, it's going to be moving into the Hill Country, and that'll help to kick off more activity. And then moving along I-35 tonight and into early tomorrow morning, creating more showers and storms even into tomorrow morning. And then I think things taper off a little bit Thursday afternoon. And we'll see things quiet down a little bit as we get into the weekend. Here's a look at the numbers. 58 in San Angelo, 54 Abilene, 40s and even 30s in the Texas Panhandle this morning. So this front means business, and it will slowly work its way towards San Antonio. 80s out ahead of it, 60s behind it. And then I think by tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, we're talking 70s here in San Antonio for highs. That's it. That's incredible for September. 77 degrees. Dew point is at 75 right now. 78 New Braunfels, 76 in Canyon Lake, 79 Pleasanton, 79 in Cotulla. Forecast for today, 70% chance of rain as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. Temperatures will top out in the mid-80s today, and then 77 tomorrow, 83 Friday, 88 Saturday. Lower rain chances, but they pick back up again Sunday into Monday. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, very busy morning. Grab that umbrella for sure. 523, 77 degrees.
And still ahead in your morning spotlight, one of the world's most popular bands celebrating their #1 hit, and Night at the Museum is the latest movie to get a cast reunion.
Today in entertainment news, a big screen reunion and a band continues making history.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Dynamite still has plenty of power. The BTS hit stayed #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for a second straight week. It's the group's first #1 and the first song by an all-South Korean act to top the chart.
Everything in this museum comes to life at night.
freaking awesome.
The cast of Night at the Museum is getting back together. Ben Stiller, Carla Gugino, Owen Wilson, and other stars from the comedy adventure franchise are reuniting on the online interview show Stars in the House, live Thursday night at 8 Eastern on People and People TV's Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
You can come out now. You're a wolf walker.
Here's your first look at Wolf Walkers from the director of the Oscar-nominated animated features The Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea. It's set to premiere at this month's Toronto International Film Festival, followed by a theatrical release and a run on Apple TV Plus later this year. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And time now, 5:27 and 77 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, an update as major wildfires continue across much of the West Coast are forcing evacuations and leaving some residents homeless.
Plus, President Donald Trump and the White House responding to a recent report that alleges the president once referred to members of the military as losers.
And we'll have a preview of how Walt Disney World is getting ready to welcome guests for the holiday season. Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 9th.
Thanks for joining us. We are happy to get rain, but that means a busy day for Justin and Nick Solis watching the roadways as well.
As a matter of fact, the rain is coming out down in buckets right now. We've had some flash flood advisories this morning. Let's get the very latest from meteorologist Justin Horn.
Good morning to you guys. And yes, it's busy on the radar this morning. We had some pretty heavy rain, especially on the northwest side of San Antonio. That's where we still have some flash flood warnings that are in effect. Most of the heavy rain starting to shift out, although we are beginning to see some new returns working through San Antonio. And we've seen on the order of 1 to 3 inches of rain with some of this. So it's coming down pretty heavy. And then a good cluster of rain now north of Fredericksburg. This is all lifting off to the north. Let's zoom in a little bit closer now to parts of San Antonio. And I'll show you where some of that new rain is moving right over the airport. So along 281 up towards Hollywood Park. Right there, and that is moving north. That's going to dump some pretty good rain. May cause a few issues on the roadways just because we've already seen some of that heavier rain. That flash flood warning, by the way, goes until 6 a.m. this morning, so about another 30 minutes or so. But I think the threat's starting to wind down just a little bit because that heavier swath of rain has shifted off to the north. Let's go north and move up towards Fredericksburg, Johnson City there, and Blanco County. That's where the heavier rain is now. And this flash flood warning is going to go until 8 a.m., a little bit longer as some of that heavier rain tracks through. And again, 1 to 3 inches, maybe some totals up to 4 inches there. So again, a busy morning, and we expect that it will be busy through the day. Flash flood watch in effect through 1 p.m. tomorrow. That includes San Antonio and the Hill Country. And this is the corridor where the heaviest of the rain is forecast to fall as a slow-moving frontal boundary begins to move in. Rain chances today, 60% by noontime, 70% later this afternoon and this evening. Temperatures will be up in the mid-80s. But that changes tomorrow. We should be on the other side of that front here in San Antonio. We'll talk all about that forecast and let you know how long these rain chances hang around. But let's get over to Nick. A lot of incidents on the road this morning. Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning, Justin. Good morning, everyone out there. Okay, right now, still looking very slick on the roadways. Please be careful when driving. We're down to 2 accidents now we're handling, so that's good news. No one just came out, however. This is northbound North Loop 1604 West at Bandera Road. Another 1 vehicle accident there. SAPD is on scene. Hopefully that doesn't cause too much traffic buildup as we get into the 6 o'clock hour. And now working on this one. Look, it's already causing a lot of traffic buildup going 410 northbound there. So this is going to be westbound IH-10 East, the off ramp to southbound Northeast Loop 410, causing a traffic buildup in that area. That's on the east side where 410 and I-10 connect. All right, and we have this high water report eastbound US Highway 90 West at Leon Creek. We had 2 accidents this morning because of this high water. Please be careful when heading this direction. All right, now we're going to take you live in the storm chaser, where our photojournalist Azian is out right now. This is going 410 eastbound towards the airport or 35 south. He's somewhere in that area right now, but look how slick the roadways are. Very dangerous out there, folks. Please keep your speed down. Be very careful. Wear your seatbelt. But as you can see there's a lot of slick spots in the roadways. Very easy to hydroplane or skid out. So please be very careful when heading this direction. This actually looks like it's 410 eastbound still near, I want to say North Star Mall going towards the airport. Mark, Stephanie?
Thank you, Nick. San Antonio police seem to be having trouble finding witnesses to an overnight double shooting that left one woman dead and another in the hospital. That shooting happened in the middle of an East Side neighborhood in the 500 block of Ferris Avenue near Martin Luther King Drive. Our Katrina Weber is live at Public Safety Headquarters with that story. It seems there would have been other people around. Why are they not finding witnesses?
Well, officers tell us they did see several people walking away from the area where the shooting happened, but all of them told police that they didn't see anything. The police found the two women still outside that home in the 500 block of Ferris. Police had received a call about shots fired in that area around midnight. When they got there, they learned that the two women, both in their 30s, had been hit. One of them had died. The other was in critical condition when she was rushed to a hospital. Police believe they were among a group of people gathered outside the home when someone fired the shots. They say they did find shell casings from two different weapons at that scene, and they found a gun behind a different home. And again, police say the big piece of this puzzle they're still missing are witnesses to the shooting, people who could tell them exactly what happened and who is to blame. Reporting live at Public Safety Headquarters, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Now to national headlines. Wildfires still devastating a number of western states.
Hundreds of thousands of acres are turned into smoldering ash, resulting in evacuations, rescues, and destruction. CNN's John Lawrence reports.
2020 is already the worst year for wildfires in California's history.
118,000 acres were burned in 2019 by this time last year. You can see close to just shy of 2.3 million acres have been burned this year.
There are more than 24 major wildfires raging across the state.
There's fire on all sides, all around us. All the roads are burnt.
The fast-moving creek fire in the Central Valley is feasting on dead trees and damaging dozens of structures. And officials say the weather conditions aren't making matters any easier.
Every one of those fires is being blown out by the east and northeast winds that we are seeing surface over the entire state.
In addition to California, parts of Oregon are also getting scorched. And wildfires in Washington state are creating thick clouds of smoke and leaving some residents with very little.
Before you know it, this is what happened to our house.
It was surreal. It was like, you can't believe how fast. I still can't fathom how quickly it traveled.
And it could be a while before crews can get the upper hand on some of these West Coast fires.
These fires are going to continue to grow for several days.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Experts say in order for the U.S. to gain control of the coronavirus pandemic, it needs to perform as many as 200 million tests every month. The recommendation released in a new report from the Rockefeller Foundation and the Duke Margolis Center for Health Policy. Experts say in order for it to work, the U.S. needs to increase its testing capacity. Despite that, the testing lead for the White House Coronavirus Task Force has repeatedly said the U.S. cannot test its way out of the pandemic. Right now, fewer than 30 million tests are reported monthly. The report indicates it's possible to reach 200 million once rapid tests reach the market. But the authors say more guidance, assistance, and funding will be needed by the federal government.
And the White House already getting a jump start on the holiday season. Planning is already underway for the traditional Christmas decorating of the White House. First Lady Melania Trump and President Donald Trump are asking for volunteers from the public to help. They're also looking for musicians, choirs, and Christmas-themed entertainers. The White House says social distancing will be observed and volunteers will be expected to wear a mask and use hand sanitizer. Details on how to volunteer can be found on the White House website.
Right now, it is 5:38, 77 degrees.
And the First Lady, not the only person getting ready for Christmas. A look at what you can expect if you take a trip to Disney World for the holidays this year.
As we get closer to Election Day, President Trump is responding to a report that says he referred to members of the military as losers.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are getting the rain that we wanted, but we do have some flash flood warnings in effect in parts of Bexar County and Kendall County. We're going to check in with Justin after the break.
5:41, now to the race for the White House. The election is just 8 weeks away.
President Donald Trump facing new fallout over what he reportedly said about the military. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl has more.
It's my home state. It's called the state of Florida. It's a great state.
With exactly 8 weeks until Election Day, the president is dealing with fallout from a report in The Atlantic, citing anonymous sources that he made disparaging comments about Americans killed at war. The article alleges the president refused to visit a World War I cemetery during a trip to France in 2018, saying, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." The president did not make the planned visit via helicopter, citing bad weather, sending his chief of staff, John Kelly, to go by car instead.
When it comes to veterans, he's downright un-American. And I'm sorry if I'm getting close to losing my temper.
The Biden campaign has already seized on the article, making this video featuring veterans.
It's filled with losers. It's filled with heroes.
The White House has pointed to on-the-record statements from more than a dozen people who accompanied the president on his trip to Paris and say they didn't hear him make those comments.
Who would say a thing like that? Only an animal would say a thing like that. There's nobody that has more respect for not only our military, but for people that gave their lives in the military.
The article also says the president had been with John Kelly during a Memorial Day visit to Arlington National Cemetery and alleges that while standing by the gravesite of Kelly's son, who died in Afghanistan, the president said, "I don't get it. What was in it for them?" That comment has not been refuted by Kelly, who has said nothing on the record about the article. The president created more controversy yesterday by questioning the motivations and loyalty of America's military leadership.
It's one of the reasons the military, I'm not saying the military is in love with me, the soldiers are. The top people in the Pentagon probably aren't, because they want to do nothing but fight wars so that all of those wonderful companies that make the bombs and make the planes and make everything else stay happy.
The chief of staff of the Army took issue with that at a virtual event today.
I can assure the American people that the senior leaders would only recommend sending our troops to combat when it's required for national security and in the last resort.
While the president in those comments seemed to be criticizing the idea of excessive military spending, in fact, he frequently takes credit for what he calls the biggest increase ever in the defense budget. Jonathan Karl, ABC News, Washington.
And staying with President Trump for a moment, there's breaking news now from Fox News, NewYorkPost.com, and a number of other media outlets that President Donald Trump has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for the United Arab Emirates-Israel Accord.
And time now is 5:44 and 77 degrees.
Up next, a look at how the happiest place on earth is getting ready to welcome guests just in time for the holidays.
And welcome back. It's 5:47. In your morning consumer headlines, those educational apps your child is playing with could be violating your preschooler's privacy. A new study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that 67% of apps played by children 3 to 4 years old collected data, including location information, and shared it with third-party marketing companies. Researchers say this information is used to profile consumers and create targeted ads. Experts say parents should monitor what apps their children are using and adjust settings to avoid the situation.
Happiest Place on Earth is preparing for the most magical time of the year. Walt Disney World Resort starting its holiday celebration in November. In the Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's castle will shine bright at night in holiday designs. And later the month, Epcot embarks on a world showcase of dishes with its International Festival of the Holidays. Characters across the parks will be dressed to impress in their wintertime finest. And of course, Santa Claus will be making appearances at each park.
And does your child like to color? Well, we want to see your artist's work. Recently, KSAT Kids posted about the San Antonio International Airport teaming up in the creation of a coloring book campaign, and now we want to see that artwork. So kids can color one of the 2 San Antonio pictures that you can find on our website at KSAT.com and submit it into our gallery. Be sure to include your name, grade level, and a teacher with your submission. Entries can be seen in the slideshow again at KSAT.com.
We also want to tell you about some pets that need homes over at the Humane Society. Lily is a terrier American Stafford mix, 6 years old. Lily, a strong, energetic girl, will need a harness when walking, sometimes pull on her leash because she loves to sniff everything that comes her way. David is a Terrier American Pit Bull mix. He's 2, loves to go on long walks, does get a little shy around other pups. You want to take it slow when introducing him to other friends. And Candace, the cat, 4 months old, loves to cuddle and have all your attention. She's still a growing girl, still has a lot of kitten energy and loves to play. For more information on these pets and many more, visit sahumane.org. They are located at 4804 Fredericksburg Road. Call 210-226-7461 for more information.
Adorable pictures that they're sharing with us this morning.
I know. Let's get to Nick and Justin for the very latest on what's happening outside.
Yeah, Mark, a number of accidents still coming in right now. Roadways still very dangerous out there. Please be careful when heading to work. This one just came out. This is westbound Northeast Loop 410 at Harry Wurzbach Road. 1 vehicle accident there. We have another accident in the same area where we had the one before. It's still active. So 2 accidents right now in the vicinity of westbound IH10 East at WW White. Look at the traffic build up there. So you're going westbound. This is WW White, westbound I-10, already heavy to moderate traffic. And then here, this is accident. This is North Loop 1604 west of Bandera Road. Still have this one, but what I was getting to is right here. This is westbound I-10 East off ramp to southbound Northeast Loop 410. So right before the exit to WW White, we have heavy traffic build up here on that ramp going southbound there. So if you are heading westbound I-10 right now, please expect a little bit of a delay. All right now we got live feed from AZN, our photojournalist. He's in the storm chaser right now. Don't know exactly where he is on the roadways, but wherever he is, it's still extremely wet outside right now. Very slick. Everyone, can't stress enough. Please wear your seatbelt when you're on the way to work today. Watch your speed. Be very careful. Very dangerous outside. When I was coming to work today, I was going over about 55 miles an hour, and it was still very, very tough for me to drive out in those roadways. So please be careful and get to work safely. Justin?
Thank you, sir. Let's look at the radar. It might have been loud earlier, might have woken you up with the thunder and lightning we had a little bit earlier here in San Antonio. Still seeing some activity on the radar, and as you head off to work or school this morning, umbrella is a good idea. I think we're going to see rain chances, pretty good rain chances through the day. See a good swath of rain up here around Gillespie County. Still seeing some showers here on the north side of Bexar County as well. And we'll zoom in a little bit closer here to places like Bernie and Comfort, which are seeing the rain. And then also around Bulverde, seeing a little cell there. Now moving through the Stone Oak area, and that'll quickly push into Comal County and Kendall County here over the next hour. Still a flash flood warning for parts of northwestern Bexar County and southern Kendall County, but it looks like the main threat for very heavy rain has passed. This flash flood warning goes until 6 a.m., so just about another 10 minutes or so. That'll probably be allowed to expire. It's this one up here where the heavy rain is still falling. That's where we still have a flash flood warning that's going to go until 8 a.m. That includes northern Kendall County, western parts of Blanco County, and parts of Gillespie County, where you see these red colors here. That's some really heavy rain. We've seen very efficient rain out of these storms, and we'll go ahead and put on the 6-hour rainfall total here and get some estimates for you. We'll stop the motion, and let's see if we can query some of these numbers here. We're talking about 2.5 inches, maybe close to 3 inches. That's going to cause some pretty quick flash flooding, and that's what we're concerned about today. And this is just sort of the start of things. Looks like it'll get more busy as we get into the afternoon and evening. We do have a flash flood watch in effect. This goes through 1 p.m. tomorrow. Includes San Antonio, all of the hill country. This is an area that will see likely quite a bit of heavy rain. We're already seeing it this morning. It's along a frontal boundary, which is right now just moving through Sonora. You can kind of pick it up there, and it's slow moving, and that's why there is going to be quite a bit of rain. A nice cluster of showers and storms lining up from San Angelo up to Abilene and Wichita Falls this morning. And you can pick out the front very clearly here with the temperatures. 57 in San Angelo, 59 in Ozona, but 64 in Sonora. That front's just coming through there. It's still 72 in Rock Springs, 71 in Fredericksburg. This front will very slowly make its way east. We do think that it will eventually work towards San Antonio, but in the meantime, temperatures in the 80s today, and then by tomorrow morning, that's when some of that cooler air tries to work in. We may see some 60s, even 70s for highs here around town, which will feel very different and very nice. The Futurecast does show pockets of heavy rain through midday, picking up even a little bit more as we get into later this afternoon and tonight, and then continuing into tomorrow morning. And then by tomorrow afternoon, we should start to see things wind down a little bit. Outside right now, 76 degrees, temperatures in the 70s in most spots. And look for temperatures to be up around 85 this afternoon, 85, 86 with a 70% chance of rain. 40% chance tomorrow, 20% chance Friday and Saturday, and another decent shot at some rain Saturday and Sunday. Guys.
I like all the chances.
554, 77 degrees.
And let's take a look at your winning Lotto numbers this morning. Pick 3, we have 779, Fireball 1, Daily 4, 5420, Fireball 7.
Cash 5 numbers 9, 23, 25, 34, 35, and Mega Millions 7, 10, 15, 31, 57. Mega Ball 21, Megaplier 2. Check those jackpots. They are big for several of these drawings tonight. Coming up today on GMSA at 9, time for another Katie Science Lab. This week, Katie is teaching us how to make elephant toothpaste. Here are the ingredients: empty soda or water bottle, hydrogen peroxide, active yeast, dish soap, warm water, and food coloring. Get it all together and follow along with Katie today at 9 after Good Morning America. Well, we have much more ahead on GMSA. It's Sickle Cell Awareness Month, which aims to bring awareness to blood diseases affecting children. Just ahead, we'll show you how one woman is working on changing the stigma surrounding that disease. And it's a mess on the roads because of the rain. Going to want to slow down out there. We'll get the very latest in a live report from Officer Nick Solis and an update on a very interesting next 7 days in your forecast. We are tracking showers and thunderstorms here in San Antonio and much of South Texas. We've got a flash flood watch across our region. We'll get the latest from Justin.
No one saw a thing. Police say that's the reaction they're getting from people at the scene of a deadly shooting. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll have that story.
The race for a vaccine hits a temporary snag. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington with the latest just ahead.
Good morning, San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. It's Wednesday, September 9th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. It's been very busy for Justin, who's been tracking the storms all morning long.
And Officer Nick Solis, because we've already had accidents this morning due to slick streets out there. Let's get the latest from our experts. Leading us off, Justin Horn.
Good morning to you guys. Good morning, everyone. We had some showers and storms, some heavy showers and storms a little bit earlier here around San Antonio, prompted a flash flood warning that has been allowed to expire. So a lot of the heavy rain starting to move out of town. But as Nick will show you here in just a second, still a lot of wet roadways, still some puddles on those roadways. So we got to be careful out there. And if you're heading off to work or school, still grab the umbrella because we're going to have some more rain throughout the course of today. You see the showers and storms are heaviest now up across parts of Gillespie County, moving north into the hill country. And that's where we still do have a flash flood warning. That's going to go until 8 a.m. this morning. That does include eastern parts of Gillespie County, western parts of Blanco County, and northern parts of Kendall County there. And we are still seeing a few showers and storms even here around Bexar County. Not as heavy as what we were looking at earlier. But still some activity nonetheless, and that's moving up towards Bulverde, starting to move now into Kendall County. And again, there are more chances throughout the course of today. And in fact, we have a flash flood watch that is in effect that includes San Antonio and basically all of the hill country. This is going to go through 1 p.m. tomorrow. And this is the time frame in which we think we could see some pretty heavy rain, slow moving frontal boundary working its way in. Temperatures today in the mid 80s, 70% chance of rain by 2 o'clock through the 5 p.m. hour. And some cooler temperatures tomorrow. We're going to have more on that in just a couple of minutes, but let's get over to Nick. A lot going on out there.
Yeah, still a lot going out, Justin, right now. More accidents keep coming in, so let's deal with this one first. This is westbound Northeast Loop 410 at Harry Wurzbach Road, 2-vehicle accident. This is going towards the airport there from Perambottle Road. Then you got this accident westbound IH-10 East at WW White. Now we have 2 accidents in the same area on westbound IH-10. We have this one right here, and then just east, we have the exit next, just east of it. This is going to be westbound IH-10 East, the off-ramp to southbound to Northeast Loop 410. Now this is causing a lot of clustering here. As you can see, westbound I-10 there, going towards WW White, and then WW White has traffic, and then right here going southbound Northeast Loop 410 is backed up as well. Keep that in mind if you're heading that way. Expect a delay westbound I-10. Still working on this accident. This is northbound North Loop 1604 west at Bandera Road. That accident's been out there for a while, and we had this high water warning here eastbound US Highway 90 at Leon Creek. We had 2 accidents because of this high water there. Haven't heard any more reports of any crashes in this area, but please be careful if you're going eastbound I-10. Taking a look outside TransGuide, I-10 at Hildebrand right now. Something's happening there. I'll get you more information on that when I can. Looks like we have another accident on I-10 at Hildebrand. 10 at Ralph Fair. Same thing. Things are looking good there. Looks like it's raining there. And 10 at Bernie Stage. Roadways are still slick, everyone. Please be careful when you're on the way to work today. Wear your seatbelt. Stephanie?
Thank you, Nick. San Antonio police say they have plenty of evidence. Now, all they need is information from people who witnessed a deadly shooting overnight. They say so far they haven't found anyone offering information. That shooting happened in the 500 block of Ferris Avenue near Martin Luther King Drive. Our Katrina Weber is live at Public Safety Headquarters. Katrina, you mentioned there were actually 2 victims and one of them was killed.
Well, that's right. Police tell us both of those victims are women in their 30s. One killed, the other in critical condition at a hospital. The officers were responding to a call about shots fired in the 500 block of Ferris Avenue when they found both of those women outside a home. They believe they were part of a group hanging out outside the home when someone shot them around midnight. Officers say they found shell casings from 2 different guns and also located a gun behind a different home. They say they saw several people walking away from the shooting scene, but every one of them denied seeing what happened. Because of that, police don't know exactly why those women were shot or who may be to blame. And so far, of course, they have not made any arrests. Reporting live from Public Safety Headquarters, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Also new this morning, a motorcycle rider is dead after crashing into a minivan on the northeast side. Police say it happened around 11 last night on Nacogdoches Road near Judson. They say the driver of the van was turning into a subdivision when the motorcycle rider hit the side of it. The rider was thrown off the bike and first responders say he died on scene. Nobody in the minivan was hurt in the crash.
San Antonio police are still looking for a man accused in a stabbing. They say it happened around 9:15 last night at North Zarzamora and Ruiz. Police tell us a man and a teen got into an argument. That's when one of them pulled out a knife and stabbed the other in the arm. The suspect then ran away and the victim was taken to University Hospital. That victim is expected to recover from his injuries.
San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers need help solving 2 crimes. Police say a man walked into a 7-Eleven on Hildebrand at I-10 and back on August 27th. They say he pulled out a gun and demanded the clerk hand over money from the register, and he then ran off.
Police also need help identifying this man who broke into a home on the southeast side. They say it happened on August 11th on Action Lane in Pecan Valley. Police say he pulled a gun on the person inside and stole money. He then got in a blue 4-door car and drove off. If you recognize either suspect, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
Local health officials reporting 1 new death and 193 new cases of COVID-19 here in Bexar County. They gave an update last night after the Labor Day holiday. Right now, the 7-day average is 183 cases per day. Metro Health also says there are 304 people hospitalized in Bexar County, which is the lowest it has been since June 18th. Metro Health also says if there's an increase in cases from Labor Day, we will see them in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Local medical professionals are hoping for a mild flu season this year, and this as doctors at University Hospital expect to begin testing and treating flu cases in about 1 or 2 weeks. Health professionals are urging people to stay healthy by getting the flu shot as soon as possible. Hospital officials say since the flu and COVID-19 cases are similar, they will be testing for both when patients come in. They also say they will be isolating respiratory illness patients as a precaution this season.
For those who are more ill and need things like oxygen and a cardiac monitor and maybe even more care, that part of our ED is also separated by one side of the ED is dedicated to patients with respiratory isolation issues.
Bexar County says last flu season was a relatively mild one, but the CDC is reporting between 24 and 62,000 flu-related deaths in the United States.
There could be a setback in the search for a COVID-19 vaccine. One of the most promising studies from the University of Oxford in England is now temporarily on hold after one of the volunteers suffered a suspected serious reaction.
It comes as more than 500,000 children have now tested positive for the virus in the U.S. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
There's a lot of pressure on these companies in the race for a vaccine, but a temporary hold in a large medical study is not unusual. Late-stage human trials for a promising COVID-19 vaccine at the University of Oxford now temporarily on hold. AstraZeneca, the drug company behind it, saying it's a routine action for safety reasons after one of their volunteers suffered a potentially unexplained illness. CEOs of 9 major drug companies in the race for a vaccine promised to not rush production, but to rather let science win. At least 30 states are now seeing a surge in COVID-19 cases as deaths in the U.S. hover around 190,000.
We've seen this dramatic spike.
The mayor of Athens, Georgia, among many fearing a return to campus is contributing to the rise in cases.
We're in much worse shape entering the fall than we were entering the summer.
Meanwhile, on the campaign trail, the president still dangling a vaccine ahead of Election Day.
Now they know we have it. It's only a question of weeks.
And accusing Democrats of playing politics by adhering to strict COVID-19 guidelines.
On November 4th, every one of those states will be open. They're doing it for political reasons.
The Biden campaign releasing this new ad attacking Trump's handling of the pandemic and laying out 3 steps they say will ensure a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine.
We need to get control over the virus. Donald Trump failed. Joe Biden will get it done.
And on Capitol Hill, Senate Republicans are getting ready to unveil a slimmed-down COVID-19 relief bill worth roughly $300 billion. But the Democrats say it's headed nowhere because it's laden with poison pills. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Back here at home, Salvation Army San Antonio raising funds for a new truck after one crashed on the way to assist folks over in Louisiana. The mobile feeding unit and volunteers were going to Louisiana to help provide relief to victims of Hurricane Laura. While the volunteers are okay, the Salvation Army says the truck is not. The organization used the truck many times since they got it in 2007. This year they used it to help during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We've actually used it more this year for food distribution purposes, serving meals. So individuals who've been impacted by COVID, and some of these events and some of these things that we do, we've used the truck to serve lunch and serve warm dinner plates to members of the homeless community.
That truck was heavily damaged in a blowout on I-10 over there, much closer to where they were trying to help people. The unit was equipped with a stove and refrigeration unit, cost around $300,000. You can find a link to donate right now at KSAT.com. Right now, go ahead. Ladies first.
Now it's 6:11 now. It was 6:10, 76 degrees.
A South Texas staple is going away. We'll see how people around the Alamo City are responding to the news that Luby's is closing.
Aw, boo. You can make your smartphone last longer with a few simple steps. After the break, we're going to learn 3 things you can do to extend the lifespan of your technology.
And outside with live cam, Justin's forecast coming up. Things remain interesting for the next week or so. And we're going to check back in with Nick. We've got a new accident up on 1604 near Blanco. It's a bad one. He'll have details coming up.
Have you noticed your battery life on your smart device dwindle down?
I think it lasted a couple of days at the beginning, and now it's like maybe a day.
Probably right around the time where it's due for a contract change.
While companies promise they've made changes, batteries still deteriorate over time. And after 500, an iPhone's battery will only have 80% of its original capacity. So how can we fully restore it?
Replacement batteries are usually pretty inexpensive.
They will add 2 more years of full capacity. Turn your devices off once every few days. Keep components dust-free to avoid overheating. Not only should you clean off keyboards and phone ports, but open your computer and wipe the dust off the fans.
I can't turn it on.
Keeping your device within 32 to 95 degrees will help it avoid premature battery drain. It's also vital to organize and update your storage.
Over time, they can inundate themselves with log files and just erroneous junk.
Delete apps you haven't used in the last 6 months. Keep security current and keep your device running smoothly. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
All right, 6:16, and we have a breaking traffic update from Officer Nick Solis. Information just coming into our newsroom right now.
Yeah, how's it looking, Nick?
Yeah, right now we have a very major accident westbound 1604 right under the 281 flyover. This is going to cause the whole westbound lanes of 1604 to be shut down completely. Now, this is right here, too. It's getting called right here between 281, Stone Oak, and Blanco. Somewhere you can see the heavy, moderate traffic here, but this is going to shut down all of westbound 1604. I'm going to have to get you some alternate alternate routes because you're not going to be able to get there past 281. So I'll let you know more information when I get it. But for now, this accident just came. We do have a crew headed out there to get more information. I think Katrina Weber is on her way to the scene. All right, let's get through this. Accidents right here, northbound I-10 west at Fresno Street. This is a major accident as well. Another vehicle hydroplaned. Accident westbound I-10 east at WW White Road. Look at I-10 east right now on the east side here. Heavy traffic in between northeast Loop 410 and WW White Road. Expect a major delay due to these two accidents in the same area right there, just an exit apart. We also have this accident northbound North Loop 1604 west at Bandera Road. This one should be getting cleared up very soon. And remember, high water warning eastbound US Highway 90 west at Leon Creek. Had two accidents here this morning because of this high water. Let's take a look at TransGuide right now. We got 35 at Salado Creek, 410 at Fredericksburg, 410 at Austin Highway, all looking very slick and dangerous. 10 west and 10 at Callahan East. Flowing smoothly right now, but looking dangerous. So just please be careful. Wear your seatbelt. Get to work safely. Mark, Stephanie?
All right. Thank you, Nick. We had blinding rain here in San Antonio just a couple hours ago.
Yeah, the heaviest of the rain is moving out of Bexar County, but as Nick just mentioned, these roads are still wet. There's still going to be some puddles out there. You got to take it slow this morning and prepare for some more rain this afternoon. There's good chances of rain as we get to the afternoon and evening hours. So as you head off to work, school this morning, just prepare for that. And we look at the radar right now. The heaviest of the rain starting to shift north into the hill country. Places like Fredericksburg seeing the rain up across western parts of Blanco County. That's where we're seeing some heavy rain right now, where you see those reds and orange colors there. We'll zoom in a little bit closer. Places like Bernie, rain's just off to your east. Around Canyon Lake, just off to your west. Sort of in between Bernie and Canyon Lake right now is where we're seeing a pocket of heavy rain. That is moving north. And most of San Antonio pretty quiet right now. We have one little area of rain right there along I-10 just north of downtown, and that will continue to lift north as well. We have other showers and storms off to the east. Seguin, you're about to get a pretty good shower or storm there, maybe a few lightning strikes mixed in there. And then also around Gonzales, seeing some rain as well, or at least you will see some here over the next hour or so. It looks like that we're starting to see a little bit of a break in the action, especially here around San Antonio, but we do think that the radar will be coming active again a little bit later this afternoon. Certainly those areas to the north of town and to the east of town will continue to see some rain. We're also watching what's going on out there in Valverde County, where there is some heavy rain at this hour too. Flash flood watch in effect. That includes San Antonio, all of the hill country. This is going to go through 1 p.m. tomorrow. This is an area where we think that the heavy rain could concentrate because we're going to have a slow moving front moving in, and it's right along that front where we'll get the good lift. Outside right now, 76 degrees, still some rain reported at the airport. South-southeasterly winds at about 13. And you can see on the radar and satellite here, a lot of cloud cover. And there's that heavy rain I was talking about out in Valverde County. Some flash flood warnings there for the northern part of the county as well. And that's right along the front. So that area of rain will continue to work its way east today. And we'll zoom out a little bit more. And a lot of north central Texas and central Texas seeing the rain at this hour along the front. And then some snow up there in northern parts of New Mexico. That may even affect the Texas Panhandle today. Cold enough for snow up there. Gives you an idea of this front. Pretty impressive. 37 degrees right now in Amarillo. 43 Lubbock. It's 57 in San Angelo. We'll zoom in a little bit closer, try to pick out where this front is. Sonora is at 64, so the front's coming through there, but it'll slowly ease east today. So Brady Junction, Rock Springs, we'll watch those reporting sites, and it will probably take until tonight before that front sweeps through San Antonio slowly and brings some cooler air for tomorrow. So the Futurecast shows temperature-wise that we'll be in the 80s today, but by tomorrow and by tomorrow morning, we'll start to see some of those cooler temperatures easing in. 70s probably for highs tomorrow, and then you'll still get some warm stuff off to the east and even cooler stuff off to the west. As far as rainfall goes, pockets of heavy rain off and on today. This is around noontime, and we'll see it concentrate even more as we get into the late afternoon and evening hours right along that front. This is around 10 o'clock tonight, and then as the front passes by, we'll still get some showers and storms behind it likely, and some showers early on your Thursday before rain chances taper off a little bit Thursday afternoon. So the forecast for today, highs in the mid 80s, 70% chance of rain later today. And then tomorrow, 77, 40% chance of showers and storms, especially early, 20% chance Friday and Saturday. The rain chances pick up again Sunday and Monday with another weak frontal boundary. So a lot going on there in the 7-day forecast, and we'll keep an eye on things today. There could be some flash flooding in spots. We'll keep you posted.
Thank you very much, Justin. Coming up on GMSA, a look at some perfect restaurant scores right now at 621, 76 degrees.
Also, summer shark sightings are not over after swimmers in Cape Cod spotted a great white shark close to the shore. We're going to have more in today's GMA First Look.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a medium coffee. Win with Circle K and GMSA.
Macy's lowest prices of the season on furniture and mattresses is going on now. Like the Jolene Sectional, $999. The Sealy Lawson Queen Mattress, only $597. And the Canyon Queen Bed, just $339. Now at Macy's.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
At SafeFlight, we're here for you with safe, convenient service.
We'll come right to you.
You'll get a text when we're on our way.
Before we arrive, just leave your keys on the dash. We'll replace your windshield with safe, no-contact service.
And that service you can trust when you need it the most.
Schedule at SafeFlight.com.
SafeFlight Repair, SafeFlight Replace.
In this morning's GMA First Look, shark sighting.
Coming back!
Summer may be over, but the sharks are still out. Over Labor Day weekend, this great white spotted less than 10 feet from the shoreline in Cape Cod. Its massive dorsal fin gliding above the waterline. Tamsin McKenzie captured these images of the shark.
It was just really amazing to watch.
McKenzie says she's been coming to this beach for more than 25 years and noticed the seals avoiding the water. Then she saw why.
About 2 hours later, we saw the fin. It was only about 10 feet away from us.
She estimates it was 12 to 14 feet long and 3 to 4 feet wide. And with beach season extending in many parts of the country this year, we'll talk to a shark expert on what the coming months have in store. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, Seabright, New Jersey.
6:26. It's Thursday morning. That means time for more perfect restaurant scores. Despite the pandemic, many restaurants are open and inspections continue. Let's take a look at some of those perfect scores on more recent inspections. Charlie's Philly Steaks, they're at 6301 Northwest Loop 410. Congratulations. Also, Blanco Barbecue in the 13,000 block of Blanco Road. Moving along, more perfect scores. Panda Express, 4248 South New Braunfels Avenue. We also have Boudreaux's down on the River Rock, 421 East Commerce Street. Check out their tableside guacamole. It's delicious. And Bun and Barrel at 1150 Austin Highway. If your place got a perfect score, send us an email, bkd@ksat.com. Steph?
Thank you, Mark. And Luby's has been serving up lunch, dinner, and dessert for decades, but now it's looking to dissolve and liquidate. San Antonio is where it all started, and the unexpected announcement has struck a chord with several visitors.
Oh, no. I mean, I love Luby's. I've been here I was born in San Antonio. I'm 81 years old, and I've always been to Luby's.
While Luby's is homegrown, it was later sold to a company based in Houston. Unless a buyer steps forward, its board of directors say the plan will move forward. It's unclear how soon the cafeterias will close. Same company is also selling the Fuddruckers restaurants that it also owns.
I thought they were closed and staying closed.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, okay. 627, 76 degrees.
Okay, let's take a look out on the roads from KSAT Storm Chaser right now. That is our photojournalist, Asian Bermia, driving in the rain. Stay safe out there on the roads, and when we come back, we'll have an update on a traffic accident off 1604.
Yeah, it looks like a big part of 1604 is going to be closing out by the 281 interchange on the far north side, focusing on the westbound lanes right now, but that could change. We'll get an update from Nick. And welcome back to GMSA. Busy morning. It is Wednesday, September 9th.
Yes, very busy. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are happy about the rain, but we want you to be safe out there. Some of the roadways having some trouble this morning. But first, let's check with Justin.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Some very heavy rain moving through Bexar County a little bit earlier. We had some flash flood warnings. Those have been allowed to expire. Still a lot of water, though, on the roadways, and Nick will talk about that in just a second. Still causing a lot of issues out there. As we look a little closer here at San Antonio, one little cell trying to work up there along 1604. That may cross over 1604 into Stone Oak, but that's about all we have left now. A lot of the heavy rain has shifted out, but we expect that we'll get more showers and storms throughout the course of today. Let's go north because that's where the heavy rain is now. Places like Fredericksburg, western parts of Blanco County, still flash flood warnings in effect there. That's going to go until 8 a.m. So about another hour and a half or so. And we're seeing some lightning strikes associated with this too. These storms have produced a ton of heavy rain. In fact, 1 to 3 inches, but we're starting to see some reports here of close to 4 inches, and that comes down in a pretty quick period. So that's why you're going to deal with the flash flooding. And I think we're going to see more of this, especially out across the hill country a little bit later today as a slow moving front continues to move into the area. Let's take a look at the flash flood watch. This is a watch that's going to be in place through 1 p.m. tomorrow. Basically west of I-35. It does include San Antonio and all of the hill country, and this is sort of the area where we think the heaviest of the rain may fall, but all of South Texas will have a chance for some showers and storms today with this system moving in. The temperature is probably mid-80s for highs, cloudy skies, 70% chance of rain 2 p.m. through 5 p.m., and we will get some cooler temperatures tomorrow. We'll have much more on that here in just a few minutes, but let's get over to Nick. A lot of issues on the roadways.
Yeah, definitely, Justin. Okay, so we're dealing with this accident. This is westbound North Loop 1604 West at U.S. Highway 281. 1604 westbound has been completely shut down due to a major accident right now, and we're still getting more information to see if eastbound 1604 may be shut down as well. But for now, for sure, westbound 1604 is completely shut down. Traffic is being diverted onto 281 south and northbound at this time. You will not be able to get westbound onto 1604. You're going to have to go around, maybe exit 281, go south. You can then exit Bitters, go all the way back around to Huebner and try to hit 1604 from that direction. But right now, westbound 1604 is completely shut down. All right, let's take a look at more accidents. Northbound IH-10 West at Fresno Street. This one's still active. Big major accident there in those northbound lanes. We also have westbound I-10 East at WW White Road. Right now, I-10 East there is completely backed up. These are two accidents within an exit of each other that happened. So it has caused a lot of traffic delays there on those westbound lanes of I-10. All right, working on this accident, North Loop 1604 at Bandera Road as well, and high water eastbound U.S. Highway 90 at Leon Creek. Two accidents there this morning because of this high water. All right, taking a look outside right now. This is 10 Frio inbounds and outbounds. Looks okay right now. Traffic is flowing smoothly there, but if you can look on the roadways while we run these cameras right now, it's very, very slick. I think we have Asian there in the storm chaser. We have a live shot there. I know he messaged me right now saying he's on 410 and 151 right now, and it looks very wet. Don't know if we're going to get him up right now, but this is I-10 at Callahan East, still looking very slick on the roadways. Please be very careful. Mark, Stephanie?
All right, thank you, Nick. San Antonio police say one person is dead, another seriously hurt following a double shooting on the east side early this morning. Happened just after midnight in the 500 block of Ferris Avenue, not far from Wheatley Heights Sports Complex. SAPD says a bunch of people were out in front of a house when the shooting happened. One person was pronounced dead at the scene. Another was taken to the hospital in critical condition. So far, there's no description of those responsible. SAPD says detectives are investigating and did find shell casings and a gun near the scene.
The KSAT defenders found that more than 1,100 Northside ISD teachers applied to work remotely this year, but nearly a quarter of them were denied. That is according to district figures acquired by the defenders. The school district reports it followed CDC guidelines when deciding which teachers would be approved to teach remotely. The district also says every teacher had the opportunity to appeal the decision. You can read more about this defender's investigation, including from local teachers, right now on KSAT.com.
Historic wildfires continue spreading on the West Coast overnight, with hundreds still burning in the Pacific Northwest. In California, strong winds have been fanning the flames of dozens of wildfires.
One fire is burning an area the size of New York Central Park every half hour, and the fire and smoke are turning the sky yellow. ABC's Megan Tevrizian has the latest.
This morning, the firefight on the West Coast growing more difficult by the hour. In Oregon, a state of emergency declared as 36 wildfires burn across the state.
The west side of Diamond off Kings has been evacuated. It's moving pretty quickly.
Evacuations in the area made more difficult after the fire closed Interstate 5 at the California border. Firefighters now dealing with the strongest winds of the season in California, from so-called Diablo winds in the north to Santa Ana winds in the south.
We've got fires burning from in the north part of the state all the way to the Mexican border, about 800 miles between the furthest distant fires.
Strong winds combining with record heat and dry conditions, fueling at least 25 large wildfires in California alone, burning more than 2 million acres. A firefighter is in critical condition this morning after he and his crew were overrun by flames near Big Sur. Officials saying the firefighters were defending a fire station when they were forced inside their emergency shelters. A dual-layer blanket meant to deflect heat, as seen in this video. One of the largest fires burning in the state near Fresno, now scorching more than 160,000 acres. ABC's Kaylee Hartung is there.
These trees are acting as dry fuel, and as you feel this wind pick up, you understand why authorities say the creek fire is uncontrollable until the weather improves.
A massive rescue effort still underway late Tuesday for more than a dozen people trapped by flames. One woman desperately waiting for her husband and 2 sons.
So I'm just anxious for them to come home and for me to see them step off. Then I can breathe.
Megan Tavrizian, ABC News, San Diego.
New this morning, reports are coming in that President Donald Trump has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Fox News reports the president was nominated for his role in helping establish formal relations between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. He was nominated by a member of the Norwegian parliament. A short list of Nobel nominees will be announced coming up in January.
The U.S. Justice Department wants to take over the defense of President Donald Trump in a defamation lawsuit. The lawsuit accuses the president of sexual assault in the 1990s. The Justice Department says it should take over because he denied the allegations while he was in office. If that is the case, the United States would replace the president on the lawsuit. However, many critics are questioning the legality and ethics of the decision. Legal experts say the move could delay or kill the lawsuit altogether.
President Donald Trump expected to reduce the number of our forces stationed in Iraq and Afghanistan. That decision to be made in the coming days, according to a senior administration official. The president will make the announcement as he deals with fallout from comments he is accused of making about the armed forces. A report in The Atlantic says he disparaged fallen service members, and the president's accused top Pentagon leaders of being controlled by defense contractors to wage war.
Experts say in order for the U.S. to control the coronavirus pandemic, it needs to administer as many as 200 million tests every month. This recommendation was released in a new report from the Rockefeller Foundation. Experts say that means the United States would need to increase its testing capacity. Right now, less than 30 million tests are reporting monthly.
New study in the Journal of the American Medical Association Pediatrics says educational apps your child may be playing with could be violating their privacy and federal law. A study analyzed how developers collect and share personal info on apps created for kids. Researchers found that 67% of those apps played by children 3 to 4 years old collected data and sold it to third-party marketing companies. They say the information is used to profile consumers and target ads. Experts say parents should monitor what apps their children use and adjust settings to avoid exploitation.
Time now at 6:40 and 76 degrees.
Sickle Cell Awareness Month, which aims to bring awareness to a blood disease affecting children. After the break, how one woman is working on changing the stigma surrounding this disease.
They get out with
this non-dancing grandma.
2 left feet, they can't dance. So that's inherited.
Didn't just pass down her 2 left feet, but also the sickle cell gene to her kids. While Lily has a mild form of sickle cell, her daughter Jessica was born with the most severe form called SS.
I at first didn't believe it.
Jessica had been hospitalized 17 times before her 3rd birthday, and as an adult, she must get regular blood transfusions.
I can say it impacts my life every second, every minute of the day.
There is also a stigma. A study found that 63% of nurses incorrectly believe addiction is prevalent in sickle cell patients, but Lily wants to change that mindset.
Please understand that the perception of a person with sickle cell disease is we're not drug seekers. We have a disease that takes away our energy.
Lily wrote a book detailing her family's journey.
The school-age Jessica continue to endure the sickle cell storms.
The proceeds from each book goes into making a care package for adults hospitalized due to sickle cell. Lily wants the book to educate others on the disease.
Don't judge us by our outside package because we don't look like we're sick.
And she also wants caregivers to cook up some compassion when dealing with those with a disability that can't be seen with the naked eye.
She says it's important to get tested to see if you have the sickle cell trait. If both parents have the sickle cell trait, there's a 25% chance that your child could have sickle cell disease. For GMSA, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
All right, time to check traffic. And at apparently some point this morning, I said it was Thursday morning. It's definitely a Wednesday morning.
And a busy one.
Yeah, it doesn't change the fact. Let's get an update on the situation out there. And of course, there's that big problem at a very busy interchange on the north side. Here's Nick.
Yeah, right now, Mark, we're dealing with a major accident right now. It's going to be westbound North Loop 1604 West at US 281. Sorry about that auto population right there. But right now, 1604 westbound is completely shut down right now from 281. So you're going to have to exit either 281 or stay on that access road of eastbound 1604 and try to find a turnaround there somewhere on 281, maybe Sonterra, and come back around to get back on the access road of 1604 West. If not, if you have to exit southbound 281, you can take a right there on Bitters, go down until it turns into Blanco, then go back up northwest would be to get back on 1604 West. There's a couple of routes you can take, but for now, this is a major accident. It's going to shut down the highway for a little bit. Expect a huge delay if you have to go westbound 1604 just past 281, and now the eastbound lanes are starting to get a little moderate to heavy traffic as well. Okay, accident here, westbound IH-10 east at WW White Road. Look at this traffic right now on I-10 eastbound going west, completely heavy. Expected delay. This is going all the way back to Foster Road, so expect a delay if you're heading that way as well. Taking a look here, high water. This has been a warning all morning. Eastbound US Highway 90 west at Leon Creek. Be safe if you are driving in that direction. All right, we're going to go right now to this TransGuide shot. We're going to go to Asian in the Storm Chaser. He's driving north I-10 right now going into downtown. So traffic flowing smoothly there, still moderate, but look at the roadways. Still very wet, slick, very dangerous, very easy to hydroplane or skid out if you don't control your speed. Please wear your seatbelt. Get to work safely, everyone, and be careful on those roadways. It is dangerous right now. Justin?
Thank you, Nick. And yeah, you're looking at the roadways. Yeah, the rain has moved out, guys, but we're expecting more as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. And we got enough this morning. That's why the roads are still wet. And we had a flash flood warning for parts of northwestern Bexar County a little bit earlier. That has been allowed to expire. And you can see most of Bexar County pretty quiet at this hour. Most of the rain now moving off to the north and starting to move into the parts of the hill country up there around Fredericksburg. That's where there still is some pretty heavy rain this morning. We're still detecting a few lightning strikes here and there too. Flash flood warning in effect still up there around Gillespie County, and that's going to go until about 8 o'clock this morning. And this box outlined here in green, and that again goes until 8 a.m. That does include parts of northern Kendall County too. That's where we saw 1 to 3 inches of rain and then some isolated spots close to 4. So no surprise that those warnings are indeed in place. We'll scoot over here to the east and show you that we've got some showers and storms. Gonzales County, a shower moving through Seguin at this hour. And any of this activity is likely going to put down some pretty heavy rain. We've also got some showers and storms out there across parts of Valverde County that has also prompted a warning, at least northern parts of Valverde County. Flash flood watch is in effect. Goes through 1 p.m. Thursday, basically I-35, Highway 90, and to the north and to the west. Those are the areas favored, I think, for some heavy rain because that's where that front is going to set up, a slow-moving front. I mean, this thing is really crawling this morning, but we're still hoping that it makes it at least into San Antonio, gives us a taste of some cooler air tomorrow. Live cam shows 76 at the airport, 77 Port SA, 75 Stinson. We do have a good south-southeasterly breeze at about 13. We mentioned some of the heavy rain out in Valverde County. There you go. You can see it starting to spread east now. So places like Del Rio, you're starting to get some shower activity this morning. And this is going to slowly work its way east with that front today. And then that heavier rain that we saw earlier now lifting to the north. Let's zoom out some and show you that a large portion of Texas is in fact seeing rain with this system. Big cutoff low up across the Four Corners region, helping all this along. That front, we can see it pretty clearly here. 51 in Abilene, 57 in San Angelo, and then 40s and even 30s up there in the Texas Panhandle. We'll zoom in a little bit closer, and you can see it's 59 in Ozona, but 63 in Sonora. So that front is just coming through Sonora, and it will very, very slowly make its way out to the east and southeast today. So places like Del Rio will be the first to see some of that cooler air. And as we look at the Futurecast here, temperature-wise, still in the 80s for most of us today, but by tomorrow, some of the cooler air tries to work in. I think here in San Antonio, we probably stay in the 70s tomorrow. You'll find some cooler stuff off to the north and west, and then some warmer stuff off to the east and southeast. As far as rainfall goes, this model is still showing some pockets of heavy rain, especially out west through midday. And then as that front eases east, we should see a good area of showers and storms this evening, and that's even going towards 10 o'clock right along that front. It may try to concentrate right along that front into tomorrow morning. And then we should see things taper off a little bit tomorrow afternoon. And certainly we'll see less in the way of rain Friday and Saturday. Forecast for today, we'll call for a 40% chance of rain early, but we'll move that up to a 70% chance by 2 p.m. through 5 p.m. Temperatures in the mid-80s. 77 tomorrow, 40% chance of rain, 20% chance Friday and Saturday. And then some more good rain chances Sunday and Monday with another weak frontal boundary. So there's more opportunities to get some beneficial rain. We just don't want the flooding, guys.
No, we don't. Thank you, Justin.
Right now we're at 6:51, 76 degrees.
COVID-19, not just a respiratory illness. Doctors say some patients are still fighting off the aftermath of the disease months after recovering. Join us tomorrow on GMSA, where we look at some of the long-term effects of the virus.
Outside with live cam on your Wednesday morning. Look back towards downtown. We're going to check back in with Nick and an update on those major accidents out there coming up on GMSA.
All right, good morning, everyone. Currently working on this major accident. This is westbound North Loop 1604 West at US Highway 281. Westbound 1604 completely shut down. And I just received word this is a fatality accident, so it will shut down the highway for a lot longer. Please expect a delay if you're heading this way. And for more details on this accident, our own Katrina Weber is on scene. Katrina?
Well, good morning. Here on the ground, we're not getting a whole lot of information because we are across from the highway, but we can show you the pictures where you can see obviously a lot of damage to that car, so it's not exactly surprising that someone was killed. We can see paramedics here on the scene as well. We're not sure if that means that someone else was hurt or if they were here because of the person who has since died from this crash. We have traffic investigators here. Now this is the westbound lanes of 281 right in front of Costco between, westbound lanes of 1604 right in front of Costco between 281 and Stone Oak Parkway. Traffic being forced off the highway onto the access road. You can see lots of it here, but police are beginning to investigate this crash, which we now know is a fatal crash. No details yet on exactly how it happened, but at least one person dead here. Westbound Loop 1604 between 281 and Stone Oak Parkway. Reporting live in Stone Oak, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
We got some showers and storms on radar here. We're looking for some pockets of heavy rain today. Flash flood watch in effect for the hill country. Will be up around 85, 86 this afternoon. 70% chance of rain, and cooler tomorrow with more rain chances.
All right, traffic and weather updates coming up throughout Good Morning America.
We'll see you here back at 9.